Welcome to Trading Essentials channel. In this channel we are dedicated to help traders who are still struggling to become consistently profitable traders. The topic we're going to discuss today is how to trade effectively using moving averages. Before we expand the content, I would like to ask you to do me a little favor by subscribing and opening the notification bell so that you may be notified when our new video is released in the first place. First of all, at the beginning of this video, I will explain to you the tools and rules I will use so that you can understand the content of my video. Firstly, we'll use two moving averages which are 50 EMA and 200 EMA. Why would I choose to use these two EMA over the others? Because 50 EMA for me represents a medium-term trend and 200 EMA represents a long-term trend for me. So, when these two EMA cross, it means for me that the trend is strengthened. Now let's talk about the rules of this strategy. We will use support and resistance, trend line with cross-moving averages for the judgmental. We need to wait until 50 EMA and 200 EMA cross and strengthen the trend of the bigger time frame before entering into the smaller time frame looking for our entry area. We have only 3 rules for entry, which are Fibonacci retracement or engulfing candlestick, and the price on the 1 hour time frame needs to be close to 200 EMA. 4 hours of 50 EMA is equal to 1 hour of 200 EMA. Our 50 EMA is set to blue color and 200 EMA is set to yellow color. This is a simple strategy more suitable for beginners. Now we are looking at the GBP/NZD 4-hour chart. First of all, every time we see any chart, we have to know what information the current chart gives us. Now we can observe that 50 EMA has successfully crossed 200 EMA. When we see EMA cross does not mean that we need to enter directly but wait for a position that suits our entry rules. We need to wait for the opportunity to arrive instead of rushing to trade without the rules. We all know that the trend is to keep coming up with higher highs and higher lows. Now the chart we look at is a fairly mature trend. We can observe a clear trend line and it is not difficult to find the support. We provide 2 ways of trading strategy so that the people with different personalities can learn different ways of trading method. The first strategy is trading along with Fibonacci retracement. We use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the most obvious higher low to higher high. It is not difficult to find that the trend line and support and resistance both correspond to the 0.618 of the Fibonacci retracements, and the price also stands around 200 EMA. So, we just need to set our buy limit at 0.618 and stop loss at 0.886 and take profit at 0.618. Let's summarize what kind of confirmation we have. The first confirmation is support and resistance. The second confirmation is the trend line. The third confirmation is Fibonacci retracement 0.618. And the fourth confirmation is the price stand around 200 EMA. Now we are looking at the second strategy, which is more suitable for conservative traders. You can wait for more confirmation to trade, so the chances of success are higher but the chances of entry are also reduced. Of course, if you choose a more aggressive approach, you will also face a relatively high risk. We can't have everything. If traders who are too greedy are more likely to fail. It's not just trading. That is actually the same in our real lives because we can't have everything in our lives. We can now observe an engulfing candle in the same position. After this candle closes, we can choose to enter the trade. We got one more confirmation with this strategy, which is the engulfing candle. Now we are looking at NZD/CAD 4-hour chart. After the last case, in this chart we can find some similar information. I don't know if the audience who has been paying attention to our channel can observe it. I'll give you 5 seconds to observe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we may notice the trend line, which also tells us that the price is now in a downward trend because we can clearly see that 50 EMA is below 200 EMA. I don't know if you got it right. Now that we come to NZD/CAD's 1-hour chart, we can use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the previous higher low to lower low. We may notice that the 0.5 of the Fibonacci retracements corresponds to the trend line we drew in the 4 hours chart, and the price also stands around 200 EMA. At this point we can set our sell limit to 0.5, stop loss at 0.786, and take profit at 0.618. Let's summarize how many conditions we have. The first one is the trend line. The second is the Fibonacci retracement 0.5, and the third one is price stand close to 200 EMA. Now let's use the second strategy to trade. We can observe below the trend line that the price forms an engulfing candle. At this time, we will be able to trade. Just set the stop loss above the trend line. We have one more confirmation with this strategy, which is the engulfing candle. Now we look at the NZD/USD 4-hour chart, and we can notice that the 50 EMA successfully crossed the 200 EMA. This also gives us a message that the market is now in a downward trend. Although we can't draw the trend line, we can observe that the previous resistance was successfully verified. In this chart we can see the different ways of entries with both strategies. First, let's start with the case on the left, where we use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the most obvious higher low to lower low. It is not difficult to find that the 0.5 of Fibonacci retracement corresponds to the resistance we plotted when observing the chart for 4 hours. The price also stands around 200 EMA. At this time we just need to set our sell limit at 0.5, stop loss at 0.786, and take profit at 0.618. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first one is support and resistance. The second one is 0.5 for the Fibonacci retracement. And the third is where the price is around 200 EMA. Now let's look at the case on the right. Both cases are similar, but the timing of entry is different. Here we may notice that we have to wait until the candle closes in order for us to trade. With this strategy, we have an extra confirmation, which is the engulfing candle. Now we are looking at NZD/JPY 4-hour chart. We can clearly see 50 EMA passing through 200 EMA, and we can observe that the price is constantly hitting new highs. This action represents that the trend has been verified at the bigger time frame. We were also able to find support and resistance in this area. On a 1-hour chart we can use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the most obvious higher low to higher high. We were able to find that 0.5 of the Fibonacci retracements correspond to the support and resistance we drew over the 4 hours chart. We just need to set our buy limit at 0.5 for Fibonacci retracement, stop loss at 0.786, and take profit at 0.618. Unfortunately, we can't give an example of the second method of trading in this case because we can see that the price does not form an engulfing candle. So if you choose a different trading method, your number of trades and risk will be very different. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first one is support and resistance. The second is 0.5 of the Fibonacci retracements. And the third is the price stand around 200 EMA. Now looking at GBP/USD 4-hour chart. The first thing we have to observe is the movement of both EMA. Here we may notice that the 50 EMA successfully crossed the 200 EMA and also constantly created new lows. Also, we found a trend line and support and resistance on the 4-hour chart. Then we come to the 1-hour chart where we can use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the previous lower high to lower low. It's not hard to find that Fibonacci 0.618 corresponds to support and resistance as well as trend lines. The price also stands around 200 EMA. At this point we can set our sell limit to 0.618 in Fibonacci, stop loss at 0.886, and take profit at 0.618. Unfortunately, we can't give an example of the second method of trading in this case because we can see that the price does not form an engulfing candle. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first one is support and resistance. The second one is the trend line. The third is the 0.618 of the Fibonacci retracements. And the fourth is the price stand around 200 EMA. Now we are looking at the AUD/CAD 4-hour chart. And the first thing we have to look at is whether the 50 EMA crosses the 200 EMA. We were able to clearly observe the 50 EMA successfully crossed the 200 EMA. We are also noticing the trends are getting strengthened. Here we can also find obvious resistance. We come to the 1-hour chart where we can use Fibonacci retracement to pull from the previous higher low to lower low. We can find that 0.5 of the Fibonacci retracements correspond to the support and resistance we draw over the bigger time frame. It is not difficult to find that the price also stands around 200 EMA. At this point we will be able to set our sell limit to Fibonacci retracement 0.5 and our stop loss to 0.786 and take profit to 0.618. Let's summarize how many confirmations we have. The first one is support and resistance. The second is Fibonacci retracement 0.5, and the third is price stands around 200 EMA. Now we see the second way to enter the market. We can observe that the price first touched the support and resistance that we had drawn in advance and formed an engulfing candle. Prices also stand around 200 EMA. By this time, we already have enough confirmation to trade. So, we can trade after the candle closes. We just need to set our stop loss above the support and resistance. In the end of the video, I would share some mindset sharing. Impatient people are attracted to money while money is attracted to patient people. Many traders who are just starting out their trading career, all they think about is earning a lot of returns in the market. And most of them do not manage risk and trade with high leverage, which can be devastating with immature trading knowledge. So, we have to learn how to wait patiently and keep learning and practicing to avoid a lot of unnecessary losses. If you learned some value from our video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. See you in my next video and hope you guys have a winning streak throughout the week.